Alright, so we're back. VOD reviewing. This time, we're gonna do our first individual review. Oh shit, there's 2 Brig sprays. Damn. Would you look at that? But we're gonna do an individual review this time of Wasabi or Lindsay's Ana on King's Row. In the, I believe it eventually became a goats versus goats matchup. I wanted to do this mainly because she doesn't really play that much Ana, so this was like both an experiment and like a whole like practice for her. Okay, so Ana goats versus Bunker. I don't know why they're running Widow though. I'd run Hanzo here. Seems like maybe they're trying to prepare for like a Pharah, because they have that diva as well, but doesn't matter. Okay, so we rotate through hotel. Okay, and we start touching point. Now here's the first mistake, like about here. Okay, because like we know there's a Widow, right? Like Widow's taken like what 2-3 shots already. Like Widow's definitely there, and she's like glowing with the damage boost. So there's 2 things you can do as Ana, right? As you rotate through hotel, you can either go this way with the Rhine and hug the wall, or you can go this way. Now honestly, in this case, I think we'll say this is position 2 and this is position 1. I would say position 2 is better, mainly because you have better sight lines over the point and the team. Comparatively, if you're on position 1, like if you're standing like here, right, then, you know, if like half the team's this way and then half the team's that way, I think it's easier to just be in position 2 to just be able to see the whole thing. But either way, you do not want to be here. Because if we watch you now in first person, F12, watch. You know, Widow's shooting at you. And if we go watch Widow here for that portion.
Try to keep yourselves in one piece. I don't mind an easy ride.
She had three attempts to kill you. And I think that was totally doable. For her to kill you. Okay, then you eventually do make the rotation onto point. What? Oh, the sleep. What? Did that sleep connect with the... What? What did the sleep hit? That was weird. Bump, 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 bump. Stop. Stop. Thanks. Oh, fuck me. Oh, no, sleep hasn't been used yet. Okay, okay. Is it hit on someone who's at the health threshold? Does immortality actually cancel out sleep dart if you're at the health threshold? Interesting. Okay. Either way, though, like, yeah, like any target there is fine. I'm gonna throw this just clean up because the team picks up. And like here, not using a scope is fine. And as soon as that, like, hold on. Like, so once our Lucio's pressuring Widow, and she has to back off, that's when like you can rotate to here and then be aggressive. And you don't even have to be this close. Like, okay. So we rotate through hotel. Okay, and right here, you see there's a Widow. So you come to here. Okay, so this is 1. Now, you're shooting, and then Widow dies. Then you come this way. And now that you're safe, you can make the rotation to like... Actually, that's even too far. Okay, you have sight lines like this, right? Okay, so you make the rotation like to here, which is a little closer. So maybe you can get like an easier offensive nade, but still, like, you don't really have to walk up. And yeah, this is a little too far forward, just because of like, yes, we're up, but that's still a bastion, and like the team isn't really like focusing on protection right now. Like everyone's going aggro, so it's possible that he could have killed you, which could have been really bad. Here we put Ana on cart. Because Ana is the longest ranged hero in terms of effective range. So I don't think there's much that you actually do.
Hello there. عامل ايه؟ أهلاً. ازيك؟ Hello. أهلاً.
Wow, this is a lot of downtime.
You're covered.
Okay. Like, this is a really great position. Oh, shoot the break. Okay. Okay, there. Hold on. I want to watch your position from third person. Okay, so you make the choice to go behind the payload. Which, so, this works. This, like, you have, right, because you can either stand on it, go this way, or go this way. Now, I don't recommend staying on the payload just because I feel like it's easier to aim stationary. And if you want to, like, so if you stand behind the payload, right, you get the payload as cover, but this forces you to continuously move with the payload. Because if you just stand still, then, like we just saw, it's going to block your vision. But you do get cover, but you don't really need cover because it's like, who's going to come kill you? Or, like, who's going to shoot you from afar? Like, Ana, like, sleeps you from across the map? Like, I don't know. And then notice how, like right here, like, for that like, what, like, 1 second rotation that took? Like, here, 1, 2, like, that 1 second of downtime, like, could have been, like, real bad. Okay, you didn't need a nade there, and the nade, when you did nade, you didn't actually hit the people that were low. Okay, our Reinhardt dying there is not your fault. Well, I mean, yes, you could have, like, healed him more, but he also should have recognized that he cannot have any healing beyond that corner. But then again, if you're back, and no, never mind. It is good that you stuck with the payload the whole time.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Get back.
Shatter gets bubbled, right?
It's open the payload.
Nice. Okay, I don't know why you're turning around here. Because the fight's still, like, totally active. Actually, I think there when... Oops. When Reinhardt was critical and, like, on the ground. Like, after he missed the shatter. You could have nanoed him, I think.
My ultimate is almost ready.
Get back.
Right here, our Ryan misses shatter and overcommits a little bit. Then he gets punished because he gets slept. You get to sleep on the Ryan. But, like, as soon as, like, the Ryan was, like, backing off, if you nanoed him, then he wouldn't have to back off. And then he could push up. And then you wouldn't have to be in this position where they're going, like, ham on our Ana, which shouldn't really be happening. And also, just in general, like, here, like, once we're here, like, you see the enemies are around the corner, right? Like, we know they're here, right? So the engagement's gonna be, like, here-ish. You don't need to, you know, like, pocket the cart anymore. You can, knowing that the fight's gonna be there, which it most definitely will, unless, like, one team backs off, which they most likely won't, because we didn't call it back off, and they're not gonna retreat. You can, like, back off to here, because you don't need to be standing next to the cart. Or even better, if you just leave the payload to someone else, and you just prepare for a fight here, you can position yourself here, but that's more risky, only because it's more difficult to predict where the fight is going to take place. And if it happens to be, like, right here, then, you know, you're fucked. Because like I feel like that payload, like right there, if the payload wasn't there, you could have totally healed our Lucio, and he might have been able to survive.
I will keep you here. Well, me home to with it. Get no power down. Get in there.
Okay, you narrow him on the retreat. To me, it doesn't look like he was even ready for the nano boost. Because, okay, let's look at this, right? 337. He's backing off. And, like, I'll go back a little more.
Well, me home to with it.
Like, I feel like if he was ready for the nano boost, he'd be pushing up a little bit because he's full health too. So there, I think the nano actually came early. Because if you really wanted to, so there's two ways you can be using this nano. The first is like proactively and offensively, right? Our Reinhardt goes aggressive and you nano him for him to be aggressive, or when they're pushing up, we back off, and then say if they're collapsing on a Reinhardt and he's about to die, then you nano him. But this seems like neither of those things, because we're in the middle of a retreat, and then you nano boost, but he's full health, which suggests it wants to be aggressive, but we're retreating. So it's like, what's going on? So there's two ways you can do this. The first way is, as we're retreating, oops, get that rid of that line. As we're retreating, they try to push up, and their nano boost and most of their cooldowns are either gone or they have less resources than we do. So then we take that opportunity to be aggressive with a nano boost. So the other plan is for him to walk forward into the nano boosted Reinhardt, take, I don't know, like 150 damage or 200, and then you nano him, putting him back to max, and then he can swing. And also that like sleep dart seemed like very Hail Mary, because like, you know, this is a nano boosted Reinhardt and he's gonna be swinging a lot, and he's shielding in reaction to our Ryan getting nanoed. So, like, you know, let him feel more comfortable about the nano Reinhardt, make him feel safe, and then you go for the sleep dart. Ooh, okay. You sidestepped away from the shield, and that's fine.
This is much better than a cabana on the beach. Fire at will! You're going to be okay.
You should be running. Yeah.
Go. I see you here. Why is the payload You're going to live.
Getting me a date there. Nice. Nice. Okay, back off. Nice.
I'm fired.
Okay, so I don't like throughout this entire clip, I feel like I haven't seen you scope. Like I remember you scoped once, which was when we were about to get this checkpoint. You should scope more. I'll just say that outright. Like right there, like during this part right here. Okay, Ryan is low here. So you're trying to hit Ryan, now Diva's low. Ryan and Diva are the low ones. And like your shots, you know, I don't know if you're aiming for the Zarya, you accidentally hit the Zarya. But like if you're trying to hit these critical people, like projectile's not gonna cut it when there's so many targets like so close together. And here you need to heal that Ryan. Like yeah, he's sleeping, but he's perfectly safe.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, good nano. I don't know who you're aiming for that with. Okay, I think there you were too far forward as well. Like right here. Like the Ryan's like right next to you. Okay. Oh wait, oh, you were the only one who died to that. I thought they got 3.
Special delivery on the way.
I'm not ready to hang it up.
The payload is approaching its destination.
Fire at will. Огонь по готовности.
Like we might have been able to win that right there if you didn't dive. Because there's like, we have like 5 critical people and our main healer's dead.
Check this out.
And you probably wouldn't have been gotten the graph if you were positioned correctly. Like if you were still alive.
The payload moving.
You could have positioned yourself back and like been able to heal the entire team from like a safe position. Where'd that grenade go? Did it fall into the pit? What the fuck?
Take your medicine.
You get DM'd? It still got DM'd pretty high up. Gonna go 1 second back.
I'm gonna have to shoot you down.
Yeah, I feel like that would have landed like here. I feel like you're like So a lot of mistake that people make, one big mistake that a lot of people make, like not just on any hero, is that they panic use their abilities. You know, like if you were playing Ana, maybe it's you see your teammates get low and you just chuck the nade even though they wouldn't have died. You know, that kind of thing. But this, it doesn't look like you're aiming for Brig, because the trajectory of the grenade is like, wait, no, hold on. It's going like this. Or actually, really, I should say it's going like this. And doesn't really look like, because if you're aiming for Brig, right, you just, you hit it here, or you splash it here. So it doesn't look like you're aiming for Brig. So I don't think it's a panic grenade, but it should, you don't need to grenade the Brig here. I think if you can just heal her. But, yeah, I don't know what you're trying to do with the grenade, because it looks offensive, I think. But anyways, whatever the case, maybe you're trying to go for the Rhine. But if you're trying to go for the Rhine, I think that would have been good, because like the Rhine's committing here. So if you hit him with the grenade, like this is when the Reinhardt commits is the best time to hit him.
You might want
Okay, again, I think you're too far forward. Like, now this is not really a threat. Well, I mean, it is partially a threat concept, and it's also a sightlines concept, because if you're here, right, which isn't that far back, but it's farther back. First of all, it's going to be easier to acquire targets, because sometimes when you're like right here, not every person on our team is actually going to be on your screen. Like sometimes when you're looking like this, D.Va might not be on your screen, or like right now I don't think Zarya, like maybe the tip of Zarya is on your screen. And also, like relative to you, they're going to look like they're moving faster because they're closer, which is also again harder. So just in general, just like position yourself here so you get better sight lines. And also, now that we're down a Brig, but even if we weren't, if they're to like go amp aggressive, you're in a greater risk of dying, of course. So yeah, farther back. Because you have a very little disadvantage to being just a couple steps backwards. Why do I feel like, hold on. Yeah, I think I'm seeing things now. Oh yeah, yeah. Like in that case, your death didn't matter that much because we had already lost.
لسه في ناس لازم أحميهم.
But you might have been able to survive if you started farther back.
My sound barrier is almost ready.
Cannot stop. Let's get it.
Огонь по готовности!
Nothing really could have done there.
I'm not ready to
I'm fast as a fight.
Oh, let's break it. Damn!
ده هيفيد.
Okay, notice how again you push up with the team when we beat in boost. Like you don't have to. Like just stay here. Like their Briggs behind us and their Reinhardt's like right there. You don't have to be there.
My team still needs me.
And like throughout this clip you can say like oh my aim is bad and like you blame it on your mechanics. But like at the end of the day, right, so imagine you have your mechanics, right? Positioning. Jesus Christ, that's ugly. We'll say pause. Sense. Game sense and comps. So I always view this as like a food chain, but not really an assembly line, sort of. That's better. So communication, right? When you talk to each other, enables game sense. If you say, "Oh, there's a Reinhardt behind us," that will give you better game sense in a way. Because now you know that the Reinhardt's behind you without yourself knowing that prior, right? Because you've been told that. Okay. So then game sense enables you to have good positioning. Now that you know the Reinhardt's behind, where are you going to place yourself to deal with that threat or idea? Okay. Then your positioning enables your mechanics. Now that you're in this position, you can shoot at this guy and kill him. So a lot of people, mainly DPS mains, will blame the reason why they're bad or they, like, I don't know, they're hard stuck or whatever. They blame their problems on mechanics. They say, help, I can't aim well. That's why I am not going up in rank. But regardless of how good one's mechanics are, most of the time, mechanics is only part of the problem. Like, can your mechanics be improved here? Of course. But people blame it on mechanics mainly because mechanics is a more difficult thing to improve than the other three. Because these, you make active decisions, right? You can think about it, and by thinking better, you can do these things. While mechanics is very, muscle-based. So, look to improve these. Mainly this. Positioning. Like, when they push up, back up. So, not only are you safer, but you actually are making the game easier for yourself. You're making aiming easier. So, without actually improving your aim, you can have better effective aim, if that makes sense. Okay. Moving on. Give me my F12. Thanks.
Get back in the fight.
Is my mic on stereo? Thank God. Okay. Okay, Nano goes on to the Diva. Let's look at that again. Okay. Oops. What did I just do? Okay. So it looks like maybe you were aiming for Zarya. But if we're aiming for Zarya, you definitely reacted like way too late. And like again, the whole thing about mechanics, like I know that nano boost isn't like some like really hard to aim thing, like it's aimbotted, but like think about how much easier it is to hit this Zarya if she's not like right next to you, you know what I mean? Okay, but let's see what you're doing in that. One more time. Okay. Actually, the Reinhardt died because he didn't get the nano boost. Not even, or actually, no, I shouldn't say that. Reinhardt died because you were trying to nano boost D.Va. So, he died, 1, because he didn't get the nano. And he also died because he didn't get healing. Oops, what is that supposed to say? No heals. Oh, jeez. Okay, ugly, but it'll work. Yeah, I mean, that's not like completely your mistake, though I believe the call in this portion, actually, I can find out. File Explorer, please. Go away. Kings Row. Oh, get Epic Pen off my screen. Oh, I forgot, yeah, I started recording in the middle of the thing. Stop the payload. I don't think I... what is this? That's when we push to the end. Okay.
Low, Ryan low. They boost you. Can we get this Lucio?
I'm out of mana.
Okay, get the... They won't notice.
Actually?
No.
Okay, I missed that.
I'm trying to see if I can know where they are. Oh, they're all on point.
Okay.
Help her right, help
Okay,
her
I
right.
missed that one.
Back. We can maybe get a stabilize.
We can back at all.
Okay. You altered the wrong person. Okay, so that was meant to go to Zarya, I assume? Okay. Anyways.
It's just a scratch. You'll be fine.
The only reason why I don't quite like the decision of nanoing Zarya in this case is because Zarya doesn't really need to charge grab that much. Like, if Zarya was at like 20% or something like that, like, sure, go for it. But, our Zarya's at like 80. Okay, also, in that clip, I know this isn't about the Ana, but I was like, back up, and then Dan was like, we can't back up. So, actually, something we should differentiate, like, as a team, is the difference between, like, a reset and, like a stabilize. Because when I said back up, I didn't mean, let's go back to spawn and get all 6. I meant, like, let's try to stabilize so we don't, like, so we can actually at least get a better fight than the one we have right now. Who am I looking at? You.
Fire at will.
We solo grab the Rhine. Okay, hold on. Oh, jeez. It gets shattered. Okay, you got booped forward and you're backing up. That's good.
10 seconds remaining.
Okay, like right here, it doesn't seem like you really know what's going on. And then you toss the nade straight into his shield. Okay, here you're pushing up. Don't do that. Okay, you sleep the Ryan. Ah, pin gets cancelled by okay, nade, nice. Like you might have been able to heal that Zarya if you'd scoped in there. Okay, whoa! Okay, when you're like pushing up there, oh, jeez, that's scary. And like when Lucio got low for a second there. Oops. Like right here. I don't know if you don't see him, but like scope in and you hit him like prior. Okay, now here you should be being aggressive now with your gun, like scope in and just shoot the enemies. That was a good nade though.
You're powered up.
And it
Get
looks
in
like
there.
that you're also trying to hit the brig. But like everyone's moving back and forth. So yeah, definitely use the scope for that. Oh. Hit you Nano Ryan, which is good. Nice nade.
I'm fired.
That Hammond actually booped you into a better position.
Огонь по готовности.
Yeah, like you're trying to hit really difficult to hit targets with unscope.
Fire at will.
Nerf this. Coming to me. Fire.
And okay. Something here. Also, I've noticed throughout this clip. It's a mistake that I think Pharah players make mainly. This is where I see it mainly because I, play Pharah. But it's when, there's a lot of targets, right? And they're all kind of grouped together. Oops. They're all kind of grouped together in like this kind of group. So if you shoot, I don't know, like right here with a projectile, there's a good chance that someone's going to walk into it, right? And get hit by it. Now, so from your perspective, you're like, wow, I'm hitting all these shots. Isn't that great? But it doesn't seem like you actually have a plan for what you're shooting at. You know what I mean? It kind of seems like you're just shooting and you're hitting things. But you're just shooting, you're shooting not at someone, you're just shooting at it. You're shooting in a direction. Right? You're shooting this way, not at Lucio, not at, Ryan, And in addition, like that sleep dart also shows it. It's like you're shooting, and you just yeet the sleep dart. It doesn't, and like you don't really move the cursor when you fire that. So if we go back, like 5 seconds.
I'm on fire.
I'm taking damage.
I didn't forget about you.
It's okay. Maybe there with the sleep dart, it looks like you're aiming for Ryan. But in general, like, I feel like you're just kind of just shooting that way. I feel like you either have a really high sense and you're trying to control it, and you're making very tiny movements because you're worried it's going to move too much, or you're on a really low sense. So whatever it is, I think you just need to move your, whatever it is it takes to move your cursor more, or your crosshair, because your crosshair seems very, centered, which is usually good, right? You want, a stable crosshair and stable mouse movements, but I don't think you're moving enough, right? Do you play Ana for the rest? I don't remember.
I never was an assassin.
Oh, you
I
are.
did
Okay.
only because it was necessary.
And also, so in this match mainly, or rather on that attack, it looked like the issue was positioning, like everything I mentioned, positioning mainly, sometimes wasting, or not wasting, but not thinking about what you're doing at that time. Those are the two big things. And yes, those are current issues, but if I were to say another issue that wasn't really prominent in that attack is healing too much, not recognizing when actually damage is more will get you greater value than healing, not recognizing when to do damage basically. Mainly because, and another reason why I think that, the two heroes you play are, Mercy and Moira, which are very heal centric. Yes, Moira can, kill isolated squishies. But as Moira, if you're heal botting as it's called, you can do fairly well. So you might have, in the future, because of that, you might have gotten too comfortable with just healing. So that's what I would watch out for in the future. And I think the main reason why you don't see that in that game is because we're playing Ana goats, and like a lot of heals need to be applied. Like you don't really have an opportunity to show that you know when to use damage, because there aren't that many opportunities to do damage.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Defend objective A.
Okay, right here, you can like scope in and watch like this. But also, something that I don't really like about the positioning is that, like, if I'm a Widowmaker and I'm like right here, say, okay, like in this instance, I can't see your head, but like, or maybe I can, like, just like you're on like the very verge of being able to be headshot. You know what I mean? So, you know, maybe holding here instead, or you can hold up here in the windows. And I'm not saying this just because I know they have a Widowmaker, but I always say this. You should always prepare for a hero that can one-shot you. And if they don't have one, you probably don't lose that much value by positioning yourself overly safe, compared to the risk of being too cocky and then getting killed when there is a one-shot hero. Okay, Pharah's here. You can, like, right now you can shoot at Pharah. Okay, go back to healing, that's fine. And when everyone's full, yeah, just, like, take shots at the Pharah. Like, yeah, you're not a DPS, but you're still, like, partially responsible for putting pressure on that Pharah. And notice here how our Zen's flanking, which is, you know, you can argue about whether this is a good idea or not, but regardless of whether that's a good idea, you can adjust your positioning so you can actually help him, because like there's no way you're gonna hit anywhere. You're not gonna be able to give him any support until he's like right here. So if you rotate, not only do you avoid this sightline from the Pharah, you avoid this sightline from the Widow, and you kind of avoid this sightline from the Widow. So if you position yourself here, the worst thing that can happen is if they go through a hotel. But if you know they're rotating through a hotel and they don't have a Lucio, what you can do is, as soon as that rotation is called, they're like, oh shit, they're going hotel. Just like go all the way like back here. So if they like overcommit to killing you, then they leave their backline exposed. So yeah, rotate here, not just because of the Zen, but because of the flanking Zen, because of you cut off these sight lines for a good amount, and you leave yourself in a fairly safe position if they engage. Oops, not you.
For your own safety, get behind the barrier. I recommend moving behind my barrier.
Say that which is not.
Like here, you should not be shooting at shield. Oops. You have no reason to be shooting at shield. Zen should be shooting at shield actually. Not Ana. And like the fire is like right above there in line of sight. So yeah, our Zen gets picked. Okay, instead of doing that, if you hit it here, like wait a little bit, like so when you know he can't retreat back, you nade it right there. Then you can totally hit him. And maybe if you're lucky you hit someone walking by. If you're gonna go for the Reinhardt, that is, in the first place. No. Okay. And like look what's happened that now that you've positioned yourself here. So, okay. You gotta think to yourself, in any position, like what's my line of retreat? Or where's my path of retreat? So you're here. So your path of retreat is this way. So now that they're pushing closer to hotel, and you know that we're going to rotate this way, King's Row has very strong long-range sight lines right here. So if these are the strongest long-range sight lines, which can even see all the way, if I'm a Widowmaker, like this is such a strong Widow sight line, right? You can see the entirety of point, and you can see back here. Now, if you're positioned here, your path of retreat should be this way, not this way. Because when we know they're going to engage and we're going to rotate the shield so that the shield faces that way, the idea should not be let me go close and try to like get myself right there. It should be let me get back here, because you'll still have fairly decent sights on these guys over here. And if you were here which I suggested originally, you could push back all the way to the wall of the bookstore, and I don't think the DPS would have the same sights they do on you than they would have if you were there instead. Okay. Yeah. Actually, I do think you're playing on really low sense, because like when you go and like nade yourself, I feel like if you're playing on high sense, that would have been much faster.
You're powered up. Get in there.
Okay, unlucky that you hit Zen. Heal the Zen. Scope in on the Hanzo. Like you probably, maybe not have been able to save him, but you definitely would have been able to at least get a chance of saving him if you had scoped in and healed the Hanzo. Okay, McCree's flanking. I'm glad you recognize that. Again, you're probably not going to hit those shots from that far without scoping. Healing the tank, which is fine. You could have waited till after you reload if you needed.
You're powered up. Get in there.
You didn't need to nano him there either. Like, yeah, he's low, right? He's totally low, but like, look at what their team's doing. Well, actually, go back. Here. Okay, they trance. They're pushing up. They're pushing up. Okay, he's using his take a breather, and like, look at where their positioning is. You know, they're right here. And again, they're not running Lucio, so there's no way they can get to this Roadhog. At least there's no way they can get to this Roadhog in time for him to be in a great threat of, in a great risk of danger, or fuck, at a great risk of death.
Go. I'll keep you healed.
This will be your shield.
Greeting.
See through the dragon's eyes.
You're going to be okay.
Say that which is
Get back.
Here, you should back up a little bit. Nice. Okay, so as soon as they grab, like right there. So as soon as you nade the tanks, the first thing should be after that is where is the Pharah, because you know they're gonna barrage, and you with your sleep dart is totally a counter to that. Yes, she gets bubbled, but still, like, it doesn't look like the thought process was there. Like, you kind of like looked up, and I think then you reacted to the bubble, so you looked back down. But that could have been real bad.
You're going to be okay.
Okay, run. Nice. It looks like you were running to get the mega, but then you realized you couldn't get the mega from where you were standing.
The payload has reached the objective.
You're just putting pressure on heal on your bar is also I'd like to take a moment to acknowledge something. Hold on. Might be flanking left.
I don't know if I block that.
Earlier.
That's on Panzer. Ah, no.
Heals on your fire. Behind you guys. Behind supports.
I don't have shields.
Supports,
Don't
turn
have
around.
shields.
Okay. But that entire time,
I don't know if I block that.
you didn't turn around. Wait, let me review comms there too.
Should have.
Cross escorted. That's on Panzer. Ah, no.
Heals on your fire. Behind you guys. Yeah, like comms are fairly clear here. Not clear, but like calm. You know what I mean. Okay. As soon as your reset died, you were most probably dead anyways. That's fine. I think we lose here without a... Do we get a touch? I don't think we do.
I rest on the payload is approaching its destination.
We do. We should have swapped to a Hammond. Yeah, you ran out, I assume, towards the Transcendence, but the Deadeye was there. He could have killed you. Like, not there. Here.
I rest on the payload is approaching its destination.
Right here, you hear the high noon? You see him there. But you run into his line of sight. He probably could have killed you. Let's see. Yeah, look at that. I mean, so let's talk about what you need to improve on. So, top priority. Positioning. Farther. Back. Okay. 2. Scoping. Or ADSing. Aim down sight. But these are tied to each other. Not inherently the scoping part, but the fact that... Hold on a second. You could be hitting more shots just by doing these two things. Okay. 3 is damage. Do more damage. Or sorry, I shouldn't just say do more damage, but recognize when to do damage. Like, because even if you hit 2 shots, right? Like when the team's fully healed, and say like 2 shots is like, I don't know, like 1.5 seconds, and in that 1.5 seconds, then the team gets low. Okay, so then you go back to healing them, but in those 2 shots, you've already done 140 damage. If that's on the Farah, if she's without a mercy, then you've definitely forced her to go back. And then 4 is with your cooldowns, you need to think more about the cooldowns. About cooldown, I'll say cooldown placement. have like an actual plan behind when you do anything, of course, but especially about your cooldowns. Think like, okay, I'm gonna nade the Ryan because he's low, right? I'm thinking if there's anything else. Nanos were decent. I think that's it. I mean, there was that one like tunnel vision with comms, and that's a general thing, but not specific to Ana. So yeah, these 4 things. Do this, and you will be better. And if you're unsure how, then we can go over it more. But yeah, focus on positioning, scoping, knowing when to do damage, and having a plan behind your cooldowns. I think in that order. Mainly because like maybe scoping might not be the biggest issue, but it's like one of the easier things I think to adapt into your playstyle. Then like I think the most difficult might be like cooldown placement. Like this is the most challenging. Wait, let me get a different color. How do I change colors actually? Oh, here. Give me yellow. Okay, so in terms of difficulty, I'd say this is the hardest. Then this. Then oh wait, no, that's totally wrong. This is the hardest. Then this. And then this. And then that. So, do this first. 'Cause it's the easiest. Alright. That's all I have for you. Goodbye.